Hi and welcome back to the channel. So I have a little bit of a book haul today. So my lovely husband has taken me on a bit of a trip away for the weekend and we went to Hemel Hempstead. So we went to the Harry Potter studio tour. So we're both big fans of Harry Potter. And it was really interesting to see all the props and things that are behind the scenes to 66 Books twice, yesterday on Saturday and today on Sunday. And we're not going home till tomorrow, so having a bit of a long weekend away. If you don't know what 66 Books is, it's basically like a warehouse during the week and they do wholesale. And then at the weekends, certain weekends a month, not every weekend, they have it really well listed on their website. They open up to basic members of the public who can go around, and all the books are 70% off their RRP, so the price is at the bottom. So for example, this book was £10.99, it'd be 70% off the £10.99 because there are some books that will have a different sticker price, but it is the RRP of the book. So yeah, all of them are 70% off. Today we purchased some books for my nieces and my nephews. We usually gift them a book on their birthday and Christmases, and like, you know, an item of clothing, a toy, and then some money or something. So yeah, we picked their books up. We also got a couple of books for my mother-in-law and father-in-law, and I've got a nephew with special needs, so he is not able to read, but he absolutely, so he's 6, he's gonna be 7 later this year, absolutely loves puzzles. So we got him some puzzles that I'm sure he'll love solving, and they come with a little story that we can read to him. Yeah, they have a bit of a selection of things actually. They have some stationery items, some notebooks. I even bought myself a colouring book, so when I'm listening to audiobooks I thought I could have a nice little colour. So yeah, some really random things in there as well. They have jigsaws, they had some board games, they had some like craft connecting bits as well. So yeah, just very interesting. But I'm going to show you the books that we've got. Start with my husband's books, and he has, yeah, definitely a very clear vision of the type of book he likes to read, and then I will show you the books that I purchased. So with his books, I'm just going to show you them because they're not necessarily books that I am going to read. I'm just going to go through them and show you the books. But he has read the first book in the Wheel of Time series. He's actually just finished it while we've been here, and so he's got book number 2, The Great Hunt by Robert Jordan, and I believe that Brandon Sanderson is, yeah, so he helped with the series and he's been taking over because I think unfortunately Robert Jordan has passed away, but he's really enjoyed book 1 and he's excited to continue the series. I believe there's like 12 books as well in it. There will be by the end of the time it's finished. So the first book he got is The Great Hunt in the Wheel of Time series. This is book 2. Also got The Mammoth Book of Dark Magic by Mike Ashley, and these have 23 different stories that to do with like witchcraft and wizardry. Well, that sounds quite cool, and clearly it did say from Gandalf to Harry Potter, sorcerers and wizards have always enthralled us, so it's sort of, yeah, linking into that world, so sounds good. Next, he wanted to try a bit of sci-fi, so he picked up The Medusa Chronicles by Stephen Baxter and Alistair Reynolds. So hopefully he will enjoy that. We had a bit of a contest with each other. So he had to pick me out a book and I would pick him out a book. And so I picked for him A Time of Dread by John Gwynne. So yeah, you might have picked up already that he really likes fantasy. And I would say that he likes really sort of chunky fantasy books. So yeah, he's got a lot to get through there. And then this one's slightly different. So this was The Last Assassin by Peter Stothard, and yeah, it's to do with the hunt for the killers of Julius Caesar. I'm not sure if this is fiction or non-fiction. Obviously Julius Caesar was an emperor of Rome. So I think it's based on the assassination of Julius Caesar, but it's through like a fictional person that you follow, and is what I'm going to gather from the synopsis on the back. Also got a tote bag while we're there. So it is the 66 Book Club tote bag, and it has 5 miles of books. Yeah, nice. We've definitely done our walk-in today, or this weekend as well, because we've been twice, and we did the Harry Potter tour yesterday. Another thing there is that you have to pay a £2 annual fee. So we paid it on a Saturday, we didn't have to pay it today, but it's so that you can basically go to the book club. So I'm going to do my books now that I've pitched up today, and I have been really eager to read Scythe actually. So this is, I believe it's a YA book, but it was with a lot of children's books, and I'm talking like really thin children's books. So the children's books are generally together, but there could be children's, YA, teen, yeah, it's all just sort of mixed in together. It's a lot of searching. It's a bit like TK Maxx of books. You have to search. I picked up Scythe by Neil Shusterman. I'm going to say Shusterman. This is set in a world where the only way that you can die be taken by a scythe, and this follows Citra and Rowan, who are basically chosen to be apprentice scythes. The sort of twist there is that there can only be one of them, so one of them is going to become a scythe and the other one is going to have to gleam or take the other one, which is a bit unfortunate. I was intrigued that it says a true successor to The Hunger Games. So yeah, intrigued because I have listened to the audiobooks of The Hunger Games December, January, and I really enjoyed it. So yeah, eager to be back in a sort of similar environment again. So yeah, I was quite intrigued. I've heard good things about this online, so I thought I'd give it a try. So I did pick up the first book, and then I saw that there was another one there, so I thought, oh, I'll pick the next one up, because I feel like it's sort of my kind of vibe. I feel like I'll enjoy it. But I think this is book 3. I don't actually think this is book 2. So I think I might have book 1 and book 3. But hopefully I like the series. I'll buy book 2 and I'll hopefully want to continue it, hoping that I like that series. So yesterday I picked up book 1 of the Discovery of Witches series, and they did have books 2 and 3, so I'm hoping that I like it, because I have now committed to buying all 3 books. They have different covers, so my husband was saying this with the Wheels of Time one, he didn't really like that had the TV show as the cover. Same with these. So the first one had the sort of original covers, and then the second one had the cover for the show. Is what it is. So I've got book 1 yesterday, and I've got books 2 and 3 today. I'm quite happy to get them because I did want to get some fantasy. The next book, now I have not read book 1 in this series yet, but I do own it. I got that in a sale off Amazon, but I did see book 2 and I thought, oh, for like basically like £3, I might as well get it. So I'm not going to read the synopsis because I haven't read the first one, which is quite bad. This is A Promise of Peridot by Kate Golden, and this is part of the Sacred Stones series. So the first one is A Dawn of Onyx, and this follows on from that. I'm not sure if they're going to be a trilogy or if they're just a duology. Not too sure. Hoping I like Dawn of Onyx because it sounds like an interesting premise, and I've got the next one ready. I did also pick up a couple of romance books. When you go there, they do have really tall bookshelves, so hers were right at the top. I could not physically reach them. I had to get the step stool, so you do have to be prepared to climb, wear comfortable shoes. So I did get Life's Too Short by Amy Jimenez. I've been wanting to try her books out for a while. There were 3 of her books in a row. This one sounded like one I particularly enjoy, so I've got this one to test out Abby Jimenez and see if that she's an author that I like. I heard really good things about her online, so I'm intrigued to give it a try. This follows our character Vanessa, and she was a bit of an influencer. She's traveling the world, having a great time. Suddenly her half-sister, who has a little baby, says, I can't do this anymore, and basically signs over custody of her baby to Vanessa. She's gone from this glamorous lifestyle, traveling all over the world, to a lot of nappy changes and night feeding. It's a very different lifestyle for her, and basically she ends up having a bit of a spark with her next door neighbour, who ends up being like a baby whisperer. He's absolutely great with her niece and is really helping her out. And she's in this viewer page, she's not sure if she wants a romance or not. She's trying to juggle everything. So I've just seen on the back actually, the 2 books were also in 66 books, were The Friend Zone and The Happy Ever After playlist. So you can just see them on the back there. So they were also both in there, but I did think this one was the one I wanted to try out first. So this is the book that my husband picked out for me. Like I said, we did a little bit of a challenge. He had to find a book for me, I found a book for him, and he selected One Day to Fall in Love by Holly James. There's a bit of a Groundhog Day premise. So we follow Rena, and she gets her heart broken. The person that she thought was going to be the love of her life, he says, you know what, I'm in love with someone else. Bye. And obviously she is, as you would be, absolutely devastated. She feels like she's never going to love again. And a pop-up for a dating app appears on her phone, and it says 24 hours to fall in love, a guaranteed love match by the end of the day or your money back. So she's heartbroken, she's a little bit drunk, and she thinks, you know what, why not, I'm going to do it. Little does she know, the way they guarantee you to fall in love is the fact that you repeat the day over and over and over again until you meet your perfect match. And this has a really interesting tagline. So it says in it, one day they said, but there was no mention of how many times that day would play out. So yeah, nice easy romance read. The next book is a thriller, and it is Kind Worth Killing by Peter Swanson, and it says there's no such thing as a perfect stranger. So we follow Ted, and his flight is unfortunately delayed. He goes to the hotel bar, he's like, I'm gonna kill a bit of time, and gets a little bit tipsy, and there he meets Lily. And while he's drunk in this bar, he starts confessing to all of his deepest, darkest secrets. This includes his wife's infidelity and the fact that he sort of wishes she was dead. It says, without missing a beat, Lily offers to help carry out the task. So, bit intriguing. Is she going to kill his wife? What will happen? And this is, I don't know if this is going to be part of the series or they're going to be standalones with similar sort of titles, but it does say with an exclusive extract from The Kind Worth Saving. So interested to see if that's going to be part of sort of a series of standalones. Nice thriller. I feel like I've had a few books recently set in airports. I did read The Flight in January, and what's the other book I'm thinking of that I picked up? I can't think of it off the top of my head, but yeah, I feel like I'm a bit airport obsessed at the minute. These next few I was really hoping to pick up, and I did not spot them at all on Saturday. And then I spotted one of them today, and they again were on a really high up shelf I had to get a stool for. Spotted one, went on the store to get it, and the other two were there. So they were not in the biggest stack. There was only 2 left of this, so I was quite happy. So I've got 3 thrillers that were on my like wish list. Very excited. So the first one I'm going to show you is The Only One Left by Riley Sager. I'm going to read the back for you. So this is a gothic thriller. It says, everyone believes that Lenora Hope is a mass murderer. When the Hope family was massacred decades ago, she was the only one left alive after the tragic night. Mute, paralysed and confined to a wheelchair, Lenora has never been able to tell her side of the story. Until a new living caregiver, Kit, brings her a typewriter. With one working finger, Lenora begins to type, I want to tell you everything. So yeah, that was quite intriguing. Haunting and chilling, king of twists. So I feel like gothic makes you think it's some kind of like creature or ghost or something like that. I'm intrigued to see what's responsible for killing the Hope family and leaving Lenora paralysed in this wheelchair. It does actually start with like her typewritings, but yeah, I'm excited to start that. The next one that I was really excited to pick up is the one I saw that they had slightly more of these, and they were in the bigger stack, but this is another one by Riley Sager actually, so I'm hoping I like his writing style. And this is The House Across the Lake. These are ones that I've heard a lot of people have really enjoyed, so I was quite eager to get my hands on them. This was our character Casey, and her husband's recently died, and she sort of just needs to get away from it all. Everything's getting on top of her, and she just needs a break. So she decides that she's going to go to her family's lake house for a bit of tranquility and just try and rebuild herself after this horrible loss. And as she's at her lake house across the lake, she gets mesmerised by this couple who are seemingly the perfect couple in this beautiful house, and it sort of reminds her of how her and her husband used to be, obviously before he passed away. And it says, but is anyone what they seem? Is Casey as perfect as she thinks? So what really intrigued me is the tagline. It says she has a detective sat at her kitchen table. She has a man bound and gagged upstairs. She is about to uncover a dark truth so life-changing that nothing will be the same again. So I'm a bit intrigued of, is she somehow defending herself? Is she going to do something to this couple? Potentially psychological thriller. I would just say, yeah, a master of psychological suspense. So I think it's going to switch to sort of the present and the past, but it does have a page that's like now, and I'm going to guess it's going to say then, and we'll flip between 2 timelines is my assumption. Yeah, so you can see it does actually switch something that says before, so we've got now and before, which will help just give us a bit of context. I do like when it makes a book makes it quite clear that you switch in between timelines rather than just transporting you. And just to make it a bit of a trio there, I also have Survive the Night by Riley Sager. This is another one that I've seen a lot online, and I was really interested in trying out for myself. So this says 1 passenger, 1 night, 1 road trip, 1 suspected serial killer behind the wheel. So this follows Charlie and Josh. They basically making a journey across country, I'm going to assume going home from their university campus, and they've been connected through the university's rideshare program. Interesting system. You pay me a little bit, we're both driving over there, let's go together. And it all starts off okay until they get on to the conversation of what's been happening on campus. So on their university campus, there is a serial killer who has been responsible for 3 student murders and has just struck again. They've discussed this, they're sharing their stories as they're on this ride across the country together. Charlie's starting to notice that some of Josh's stories have inconsistencies in them. A lot of discrepancies, and they're just not making sense, which is sort of making the hairs on the back of Charlie's neck stand up, and he's getting a little bit suspicious. I keep saying Charlie is a female, so yeah, she's getting a bit suspicious. The hairs on the back of her neck are standing up. She's not trusting Josh at all. She's a bit like, I'm a bit suspicious that I'm stuck in a car with a serial killer. And so she's now trying to basically, like, in her mind, plot an escape. How am I going to get out of this situation alive? How am I going to get away from him? And she's also starting to become a little bit paranoid that maybe he knows she's suspicious, and he can tell what she's thinking. He's, thinking she's trying to find an escape route here, which is making her really worried that she's going to be the next victim. It says on the back, a game of cat and mouse is about to play out. In order to win, Charlie must do only one thing: survive the night. And I honestly think it's really simple as a sort of cover, but you can just see just on the front there, like the car and its headlights. I just think it's really simple, but it's an interesting cover. So again, I am hoping I like him because I do now have 3 of his books. That is it. I finally got to the end of my haul. So again, all these books were 70% off, plus the others, so 23 books, I believe, and 2 puzzles. It came to £82.13, which I don't think is bad at all. Like I said, especially because I think they show you how much it would have been, like the RRP price, and it was like 230. So yeah, quite chuffed. So I think we would consider going again, probably towards the end of the year, maybe like October, November time, just so they've had a chance to sort of cycle through some books. I don't think we would solely come up for that because we are hopefully going to go and watch Harry Potter and the Cursed Child later on this year. And so we said, you know, we could actually stop off and just comfort and break up the journey a little bit later in the year. So hopefully we'll come and do that. Thank you for joining me. I hope you consider liking and subscribing. Have an absolutely glorious day. See you next time.